your dad, the story about your dad, and I am sorry, we kind of glossed over it before, but the way you reconnected with him, I also found, very heartwarming and very forgiving of you, because you could have easily have carried that to, you know, to,
Yeah.
anger and resentment. I mean, it makes us feel, the reader feel that, well, they might have, oh, wow, you're a really good person.
Well, and one beautiful thing was, I really felt like I didn't matter to my dad. From the time I was a little girl, I felt like if I mattered, he would come visit more. He
Yeah.
wouldn't. I mean, he married and raised his wife's two daughters, and I felt like they were a family, and that I didn't matter. They were the ones that mattered to him. And yet, when he died, and I went to clean out his place with my stepsister, I found a folder, and it had every letter I'd ever written him from the time I was a little girl. It had clippings about the Go-Gos, and I mean, it was just like, it was this realization. Of course, I realized it in our talks at the end of his life, because he was lucid and had his wits about him to his last breath. So we had many, many talks, but that was a very tangible thing that I could look at it and go, I mattered all along. I mattered the entire time. He just didn't express it, or didn't know how to express it, or maybe his wife didn't want him to. So it's bittersweet, but it was kind of neat to be, at the time I was 59, and to go, you were wrong. All this time you thought you didn't matter, and you did. He had saved everything.
Well, it's not too late to have that realization.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's,
It's a nice closure. It's crazy.
Here I am again. Wah, wah.
Oh, no.
No, it's
All
a
right.
happy, to me, it's happy.
Yeah, for some reason I thought y'all's podcast was more like, I don't know, kind of like lighthearted and stuff. And we've had this very.
It usually is.
It is.
So here Kathy Valentine comes along, and we're like just plumbing the depths of everything. So anyway, I sorry if I pulled y'all into the story too much, but at the same time, I'm not a very superficial small talk type person. I just,
It's exactly what we wanted.
I kind of like to get right into the real stuff. I don't want to talk about the weather.
No, and I think our listeners, will want to hear the stories also. Yes, we're uplifting, I guess, by nature, because 80s music, for the most part, I guess, is uplifting.
Yes, I
But
think so. I did.
No, this is what I wanted to hear. This is the story I want.
Oh, good, and hopefully it's not a down. I think it is uplifting. But yeah, it's funny. I had to do an 80s guest VJ spot for Sirius for 80s.